Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you about my amateur radio installation. I've had a amateur radio of one sort or another in each of my primary vehicles since 1995. Anything from a handheld transceiver to a mobile rig to dual mobile rigs, multi-multi, UHF, VHF, HF, crazy antenna farm on my Mark III at one point, which by the way blew the whole StealthGTI thing, the stealthness that earned me my nickname. When I got my Mark VI, I decided to downsize and go with just one radio, one antenna, and on my Mark VII, same thing. I wanted to stay discreet and keep things flowing nicely with the factory infotainment system. The challenge of installing this stuff on the Mark VII in particular is the interior bits. The tolerances are really tight. It was harder to route the wires, to hide things behind panels and stuff like that. And I would have liked to have my display up higher, closer to my line of sight, but I also wanted it out of direct sunlight and to be concealed a little bit from outside eyes. That's what my goal was. So the radio I chose was ICOM's ID5100A. I chose it because it's a complex menu system, but it's easy to use because it's got a touchscreen interface. And I also wanted to dabble in D-Star, which is a digital voice mode. And the ID5100, a little expensive, but a fantastic radio. So the display, I've mounted it to the cubbyhole that's just forward of the gear shift. I don't really use the cubbyhole so much, but you know, when I stow the display and leave just the mounting plate there, I can use that storage location. Like I said, I don't really use it for much. The speaker, since my body, the brains of the unit, is mounted in the trunk, I needed an external speaker, so I had that mounted to the dash with household goop. I have the microphone mounted to the door, driver's door. I love the way that when I open the door, it lifts the microphone cord up and out of the way. I never get my feet tangled up on it. It doesn't interfere with the function of the seat like it did when I had it mounted to the right of the driver's seat. So definitely a great location. Like I said, the body is mounted in the back. There's also a very sophisticated 12-volt distribution system back there. I already covered that in pretty good detail in my subwoofer video, so I don't want to talk about it here. If you want the technical details, go to my website, StealthGTI.com. There's a link to all the communication stuff there, and I'll put a link in the description so you can go check it out if you want. D-Star, quickly, digital voice mode that can take my signal, my voice, receive it at a distant radio station, put it on the internet, transmit it over to another country, another location, wherever, and then it gets broadcast on their repeaters. And so now I'm on the air in Great Britain or Brazil or wherever. I am out of range of the local D-Star repeaters in my area most of the time, so I assembled a unit called a DV Mega, which is based on the Raspberry Pi, and it has a little UHF mezzanine board on it and a little antenna port, and so it's basically a little transceiver. And so it receives my low power signal and then puts it on the internet by way of my mobile hotspot or my cell phone. And with that, I can use radio commands to connect to hundreds of modules around the world. And here you can see me scrolling through a few of them that I have stored in my radio's memory. The radio, by the way, has got 1,000 memory locations, and so I have lots of scanning opportunities. I can dual scan, I can dual watch. The radio is fantastic. So with that said, realistically, I could actually just use a handheld D-Star radio like the ID51 in my car and not have a mobile rig at all in here. But I already have the 5100 on hand, and I don't use ham radio equipment in my house. So for now, I'm happy to have the 5100 in my car. And maybe on my next VW, my next GTI or Sport Wagon or whatever I get, maybe at that point I'll switch to handheld and D-Star only. The antenna, I basically used the Volkswagen factory hole that's already in the roof. I didn't want to cut any new holes. I don't need the shark fin antenna up there. I don't use CarNet or Sirius satellite radio, and so I took off the shark fin, put a Breedlove NMO mount up there, and with that I can mount a pretty wide variety of antennas. Anything with an NMO mount will go up there. UHF, VHF, even some HF antennas will go up there. Most of the time I have a 13-inch antenna on there. I've got a little tiny stubby one that I use. It's UHF only if I'm going to mount my cargo box. And then I've got a half wave that I can put on there that has really good performance. But really, if I'm going to put something that big on my car, then I just go for the granddaddy and put my 7/8 up there. And it's big. And I would only mount it if using ham radio was the primary purpose of my trip. So my favorite antenna is my little 13-inch dual bander there. It gets me into everything I need to get into. If there's something that I missed because I kind of sped through this, let me know. Post a question. I'll be glad to answer it. Go check out my website, StealthGTI.com, and then you can really read the details about my equipment here. As always, thanks for visiting. Please subscribe if you're interested in seeing what else I'm going to publish, and have a great one.